Hey guys, Jason back at the North Texas Comic Book Show, and we get to talk to a lot of comic creators. So, got to talk to one that was sitting right next to us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eagle, creator of the comic The Law of the Jungle. Now, I got to sit out quietly and read this book, and I mean, I'm getting pulled into the story and everything, and then you throw us for a loop on it too. This is a really good book, man.
Thank you.
Tell me about the creation of this. Where did the idea come from for this?
I was about 8, and I turned into a Rudyard Kipling fan. I love reading Rudyard Kipling's poetry, his stories. He had a poem called The Law of the Jungle, which was a list of laws that the wolf pack and the Jungle Book lived by. And the more I read it, the more I realized that it would make a real good set of laws for a set of werewolves to live amongst human society. And so that's where the initial concept came from. And from there it was finding the right path to the story, finding a place that would not leave the reader dangling, wondering what was going on, but still provide a look into this alien world of this werewolf pack.
Well, and I wouldn't even say it was too alien, because it's kind of like a civil society and everything. I mean, the book starts off shocking. It's really good. You're kind of like, wow, ouch. This is with a bit of a shock in it, because you tell the story in flashbacks until you're kind of bringing us all up to speed on what's going on.
I broke several rules.
You did.
I made the entire first issue a prologue, and you're not supposed to do that, but I didn't care.
But it works. I'm going to tell you, it works. Especially like as it reveals, as more and more layers are peeled away. It's
It's not exposition. It's actually a story.
It feels normal, especially in this world that is kind of full of extraordinary things like werewolves, but it has grounding, and that especially when you have the two sides talking at the table and kind of coming to an agreement. Like, despite it all, we're not going to be just at each other's throat all the time. There are moments of civility. Even though, yeah, there are some parts of that, though.
My artist, Speldig, she saved my butt on that scene.
Really?
Well, that's a 4-page talking head scene, which is another big number. But she makes the scene, she does such a good job of showing the expression, showing the emotions, showing the back and forth, and making you feel like you're listening to a conversation instead of just reading dialogue on a page. And so she makes that scene flow. I mean, that scene would not be near as powerful as it is without the artwork pulling you into it, without the facial expressions.
There is that part where he's talking about the cure and everything, and that desperation in his face and everything.
Yeah.
Your heart really does go out at that point.
The characters are, how to put it, the characters are meant to be sympathetic.
Yes.
But you're seeing all the sides of this conflict. And so I'm walking a fine line in trying to show how each side feels it's right, how each side feels it's justified, because I'm a firm believer of the idea that no man is a villain in his own eyes.
The character Mel, though, I mean, and you really feel Sam's love for you.
Yeah, and Sarah's.
And
Sarah's.
I'm sorry. I was doing that one scene where he was talking about you definitely feel that love, and how they definitely want to protect her, and because I was kind of surprised, because like we do see Mel growing up from when she was taken to when she reaches college, and honestly there was a point where at that level I was like, why has she not been told yet? And then, but from a parent's perspective, you just want your child to be normal and have a happy life and not have. So I got that. It really, that part came.
This is not too much of a spoiler. Basically, she's raised by the hunters who killed the werewolf family she was with, and the way that they keep her from ever finding out she's a werewolf is by daily injections, telling her she's got a rare blood disease. And that's what you're talking about how is she in college without knowing this. And you're right, it's because of the protectiveness of her parents, and they're real.
That's what I was
Despite
trying
the
for.
situation, I mean, there is love there, and I really appreciate that. And it's kind of, well, once you get towards the end, you find out there's a lot more going on, which I'm not even going to spoil the ending. It's a shocking ending. Go read this book because it's really good. Now, how many issues is this planned for? Because you've already got me. Now I want to know where it's going.
It's open-ended. The second issue is already plotted.
Okay.
We're writing it. Me and the artist have decided that we're writing it together because she made some changes to the way that the book worked by the way she did the artwork. I frankly was not expecting the quality of art that I got. This is a good time to point out we're a writer-artist co-op. No Earth Comics is designed to bring writers and artists together. And this was, I got lucky getting her as an artist. There's a page in here.
Here, I'll show it over here. Yes. Get this on my camera so you can actually check this out. Check out this art. But
This is a page that, if I had known it was going to wind up with the visuals being that powerful, I would have gone back in and written some of the dialogue out.
honestly, this and that part right there, I honestly was like, oh no. Because, you know, she's still young at this point. I think even if it had gone further in the book, that you really would have been like worried for Mel right there, because I was like, no, don't do it. But, whew, she bit somebody. You're just
The way that the artwork is done is so powerful that I wanted her in on the writing. I already know where the story's going, but I wanted her in on the writing because knowing what she is capable of pulling off is going to affect the way I write it. It gives me a little bit more freedom. It gives me a little bit more latitude. But yeah, this one's going into the second issue. We're already doing concept art for the second issue. We've got the plot done, and I'm just refining the dialogue.
I gotta say, it's a welcome time. Even when I was talking to Rob about, you know, everybody's focusing on vampires. They don't really talk about werewolves. Even as far as like us as fans of that particular genre and everything. And it's a very personal book. Even with, you know, it's got this supernatural element to it. It still has that grounding, which is what I'm liking about it.
The fact that they are werewolves is actually incidental.
No, it's there, but this is more about some mystery, and that's the other part that you were telling me as I read the book and was shocked by the last page. But as you said, the hints were there all along. So guys, if you're reading this book like me, and before you get wowed by everything, keep looking and go. Which, yeah, I read comics several times over. It's one of those where you're like your page turning to proceed the story, and may have missed some things because you're that into it. Was that intentional, by the way?
Yes, that was very much intentional.
I don't feel so bad.
Every book that we're coming out with, what we're doing is a shared universe. Okay, and so every book that we're coming out with is connected to the other books in some way, without being this huge crossover mania.
They exist in the same universe.
They exist in the same universe. Things will be mentioned. For instance, in this, we're mentioning Hell Knight. We have another book. We have several books that are directly based on things that happened on Hell Knight. What they're seeing as news reports in other books actually is a major plot point. So each one of the books is connected to the other books, but also each book is a totally different genre. Each book is a totally different feel. It's a totally different mood. In some cases, it's even totally different styles. And the object is to create a universe where the creators can have fun, where it's a big sandbox, but where they can tell the type of stories that are going to fit into this world. And so in this book, you see a lot of things in the background that you're going, wait.
There's so many other layers here that you'll be going back and wait a minute. I like books like that. it's almost reference material for stuff that's going to happen in another book. I like that.
The world itself is so detailed that we're putting a reference page in every issue.
Oh,
This one's got one in the back that tells more about. It's not necessary to read the story. It's not necessary to enjoy the story. It's not necessary to read one title to enjoy another title. But the more of them you read, the more it all
this
blends
expands
together.
out. I like that. Here, I got it.
Towards the back. In fact, right after the last page.
Here we go.
No one
Oh,
more.
not the ad there. Okay, here we go.
That page.
Yes.
That's just reference articles for things that were present during the book.
It helps fill in some of the storyline while giving, like I've always liked behind the scenes stuff as well,
Right.
but also helping to fill out. So I think everybody's always show this. Like when they get diagrams and everything of just other things that are happening in the universe, which it only adds to the story
So it's a fully realized
without
world.
having to explain it during the story too. It's kind of like, here you
Right.
go. There's what you're looking for.
And this is not anything that's required to enjoy the story, but it's something that fans are going to go, yes.
Yes, as readers, we do like those little bit. Just give us a little bit. You know, the extra editions on the Blu-ray.
So where the story is going to go from here is it's going to explore the Werewolf Society, obviously, but it's also going to explore the Hunter Society. And these are two groups that have been at each other's throats, so to speak, for generations, and you're going to find out more about them and how they've stayed hidden, and now that they're coming out in the open, how that's going to affect the interaction.
And definitely got the tension at the end because you've got, like I said, everything seems grounded and normal. But then towards the end, let us remind you, you are in a world where werewolves and, well, not monsters, but they do exist. And you did a really good job of, by the way, don't forget about this. I liked it.
And I don't usually get heavy-handed with themes. The theme is what you hang the story on. It's the skeleton for the whole story. It's like if you're looking at Batman, the theme is not vengeance. The theme is an orphan trying to make up for his parents' death. And this is what every good Batman story is based on. In this case, I actually stated the theme on the third page, just because I wanted to make sure that people were going to understand what we were doing. And the theme is, what makes a monster? In other words, is it the appearance or is it what you do? And you can guess which side this story comes down on the side of.
Well, from a guy that reads a lot of comics, I liked it. I enjoyed it, and it's one of those stories where, okay, what happens next? So, now, if someone wanted to get The Law of the Jungle or any of the other books, where are they going to go?
They're going to go to noearth.com, that is no-earth.com. The online store will be up shortly, and it has this comic, 3 posters, and within the next week it'll have a second comic and another poster. We've already got, the artist has already done a Law of the Jungle poster that is absolutely gorgeous. It's so gorgeous that we might use it for the cover for the second one. And then War Mage #1 comes out in the next few weeks, which will be a time travel Atlantis, modern day, high fantasy. I don't know what all to call it. It's like this one. It doesn't fit in a standard genre. We're not doing cookie cutter stories.
Well, how about, brick and mortar? Any plans of getting these out to stores, by the way? Or
The second printing will be going brick and mortar. The first printing, we were finding out what kind of interest there was. And we've had a number of the local stores in Houston and Dallas tell us that they're interested in carrying it.
I know we got a few here.
So that's going to be, the next stage is printing a version with UPC and price tag on it.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, noearthcomics.com. Make sure you check out the Facebook and Twitter pages. Search for those. And the links are down in the description below, so I've made it real easy. Go down there and get those. Eagle, thanks for talking about your book, man.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. And guys, make sure you check those out. I'll get back on the camera here. Make sure you check those out. Another great artist, comic creator here at North Texas Comic Book Show. We'll be back a little bit later on, but thank you, Eagle. Go check out his work. Thanks down there. We'll catch you guys later. Keep on nerding.